Hey guys, Scott Ryan from Fit Society San Diego here to give you a couple of tips on lunges. We had a lunge workout last week where we had some bar lunges. With the bar on our back, we were doing bilateral knee lunges. Some did some overhead straight lunges, okay, just depending on where you're at scale-wise. A few people were asking ways that they can work on their balance. They were getting really fatigued, felt really wobbly. So here's going to be a couple quick strategies for you to work on at home before you get into any of your walking lunges. Just see if we can kind of help you out with those, okay? First thing is eyes. We want to make sure that we're fixed on something out in front of us, regardless of what we're lunging to or where we're lunging. We don't want our head going all over the place when we're lunging, down at the floor, up, wherever you may look. Try and get those eyes fixed on something. So typically what I see, especially with weighted lunges, is people tend to take this step where they start kind of crossing their feet over and they stay on this tightrope. Now whether we're doing a bilateral knee bend or a straight knee lunge, we still want to focus on our weight coming forward and distributing into that entire foot. What I see a lot of when people lunge is they keep so much weight back that by the time they have to shift forward in their next step, their balance is all thrown off. So we want to make sure that weight's coming forward and we're getting a good wide step. So I'm going to start with my right foot on the outside of that line. Again, you can keep your hands up, we can add in a reach, but we're just going to work on a dynamic positioning of lunging ourselves forward and lunging ourselves back. My weight's shifting forward. If you feel like the chest is dropping, we can take that height up a little bit. Okay? We can make that a straight leg, and then eventually turn it dynamic for either one. So where I start stepping, I'm not necessarily moving sideways, but I'm allowing that translation, that frontal plane of my hips, my glutes can load, my hamstrings, that entire posterior chain needs that little bit of shift in order to get that good lunge, okay? If we want to get a little tougher, a little bit more difficult with these, we'll go into kind of an unstable surface. So we'll do that same thing where I'm going to get my foot planted, I got a good wide stance, and I'm just going to lunge myself into the weight here, push myself back, forward, back. And that's going to work on the proprioception again. Eyes face forward, chest up. And if we're having difficulty with either of these, let's take gravity out of effect for a second. Let's get our front foot elevated and work on some of this. So we can work on that straight leg lunge. We can still do our bilateral knee bend, but we're trusting ourselves to start loading into that front foot a little bit more, okay? Take these strategies, take these tips, turn them into lateral lunges, turn them into posterior lateral lunges, and eventually you'll start working into that whole matrix, that whole three-dimensional motion, and you'll see your balance starts to get a lot better. Once we control in a small circle, then we start moving forward and becoming more dynamic. But not until we master the balance and the technique do we want to load overhead or on the shoulders too much. Have fun with this. I hope this helps you guys a little bit. Please let me know if you have questions. Go to www.rehabunited.com under Fit Society or